will come in, we'll let them in. Uh,
We're starting the recording.
Let me know when you're ready, Carlene.
Ready.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our February 24th, 2022 virtual chapter meeting. I'm glad you can join. I know that you're probably still burnt out from the gala, uh, but we wanted to have a chapter meeting this month as well from a professional development standpoint. Um, so I'm excited for everyone to be on this particular call, and I can share some good news, and we want to talk about some future items as well. Um, Carlene, can you please bring up the agenda?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Hopefully everybody can see the agenda, just so that you know the meeting is being recorded. We place the recordings on YouTube so that you can go back and take a look at them and at your time. So, okay, so we want to make sure our members have access to this information anytime they want to go back and take a look at it. So again, welcome to this particular meeting, and I'm just going to really just jump right into it because we really want to hear from our guest presenter today as well. Just get into the president's report. The Black History Month Gala, it was well attended, more than what we expected. If you were there, I'm so excited. It took a lot of work to pull this one off for this round. Obviously, we want that feedback from everybody on ways that we can improve, and we're putting together some action steps on how we can improve. But we have some positive comments, a lot of positive comments regarding the gala. So we're going to make some improvements to address those negative comments that came through, so that we can make this as a signature event for our chapter. Uh, I mean, it was fantastic. It was a great look and feel. But we do know that we need to make some improvements in those particular areas. So, um, we want to continue to engage our sponsors as well. So um, just make sure they stay in the loop. We want them to come back next year to be a sponsor next year. We want them to sponsor other things throughout the year. So we will be doing some engagement with them. We're going to be sending out appreciation certificates to them. We're going to be following up with them. We're going to be making them aware of activities with this particular chapter. Um, as you probably have been on the website, we've posted their logos on the website as well. So we want to continue to engage with our sponsors because we do want them to come back. I can tell you now we have a longer period of time to plan for the next gala. So we're going to be establishing subcommittees, and those subcommittees will help guide and then make improvements in the areas that we need for the gala itself. Um, it's very difficult for a select few to put on such an event, so we need that participation from all the members from a standpoint of the subcommittees to help us get to a certain point. Some members may be great at the entertainment and the program flow, things of that nature. We want you to get involved in that particular aspect when it comes to the gala. So we'll be circling back with the membership on our save the date for next year, and when we want to start establishing the subcommittees for the next year's gala. Um, since we're talking about um, so just going on to networking opportunities, we want to make sure that our membership is networking, we're mentoring, we're doing all those particular things. So the membership committee is coming up with a networking opportunity for us in April. We'll be getting that information out to you. We want to make sure that you come out and enjoy yourself with us and have a good time and just networking. So throughout the year, we're going to be planning multiple networking opportunities so that we can just socialize with everything or with everybody. I want to really emphasize membership participation. For us to be successful, it does require participation from members to get involved. It may not be something, a lot of stuff. You may not have time to do a lot of stuff, but it's just some of the other stuff that you can help with, like participating on committees, helping out with certain things, Definitely when it came to the gala, we needed a lot of volunteers. So it's important for our members to really to participate in this particular chapter. We want this chapter to be successful, and we want you to get something out of this chapter as well. But your participation is very key to success as well. And we're going to be looking at a business meeting that's going to be coming up. We want to be able to address chapter business. I think from the gala, we did okay when it comes to a fundraising component of it, but we have some other opportunities that we need to be able to share with the members and get your feedback and input so that we can execute them. So Carlene, that is the president's report. Does anybody have any questions for me before we go into the chapter committee reports? Okay, let's go into the chapter committee reports. From membership, Elijah's not on, correct? I could not hear you, Carlene. You said no?
No, correct. He's not here. Althea, perhaps? She's not here either.
Okay, I can tell you there has been several, from the gala, we have made several contacts from a membership standpoint of it. And I know Carlene has been sending out a ton of emails to various potential members. And last night, they Nadesh, Carlene, I saw Crystal. I'm not sure if Sarah was out there at the IRSC Black History Month item. They made a lot of contacts at that particular event. And so we're hoping that our membership increases probably another 5 to 10 individuals in our March report. I think right now we're around 40, 42 members,
Right.
and we continue to grow from that standpoint of it. Let's go into program development, Chanel.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I do not have any updates for today.
Okay. Can we go into the next? I don't see the agenda up, but the next person on the agenda.
John Morris is not here, so I'll go ahead.
Let me get a quick update on the finance standpoint of it.
Okay.
Actually, the chapter, obviously, we're in a much better position than we were when we first started, definitely from the membership standpoint of it. One thing I want to remind members, depends on when you became a member, there's annual renewals. Like for me, I think my annual renewal is coming up because I've been a member well before the chapter was established. But we're going to be sending out reminder notices as far as member renewal components of it as well. So this year is where your renewal is going to start. Who's next on the agenda, Carlene?
Myself. So I just wanted to give, my name is Carlene Siddell, and I'm the secretary for this chapter. And what I wanted to do is give a little bit of update on some of the things that we're doing. As a public information committee, we want to share information with you. We want to make sure that you're getting it in a timely and efficient manner. But we also want to encourage you, our members, to share your events and your happenings with us. Let us know what's going on so we can share that with our member as well. Recently, we shared some information about the Black Health Panel that's coming up on March 5th. Hopefully you received that. Check your email for information. We also will be sharing information about the Women's First event that's being developed right now with our community engagement chair, Sarah Smith, on March 8th. So look out for information coming out about that. Today, we shared information about our president, Alfonso Jefferson, who was appointed to the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Club. Hopefully you were able to congratulate him. It's a major move, and we appreciate the fact that he is a part of that organization as well. And as Alfonso mentioned, we collected a lot of information on the gala survey feedback. You guys had a lot to share, good and bad. And well, I wouldn't say bad, it is constructive. So we thank you for just sharing that information with us. We like the Google medium, the Google form medium. And if it's something that you like as well, share it with us and let us know. We'll be sending out more information via that medium. So if it's something that you're not really appreciating, let us know. But we do like it. And last, I wanted to just remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do a lot of events, and some of the events we place on our YouTube channel. Did you know that the chapter meeting is recorded and added to our YouTube channel for members to view at a later time? Let us know if you like the video. Please subscribe, please, and like our video. Let us know that you appreciate what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Nadej, you want to go ahead and go from the social media activities?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm historian Nadej, and I would like to just give a brief update on our social media activities. So from last month, our LinkedIn followers have grown from 135 to 165. So we're almost at the 200 follower milestone. And also, I noticed that we do get a lot of engagement when we announce accomplishments and birthdays of our members. So if you could please help us with keeping that going by submitting your questionnaire and also submitting your accomplishments to us so that we can celebrate you. Now we have our monthly member in a spotlight form. So every month we provide a spotlight for a member and highlight, their ideas and their perspective on leadership and public service. And so I do not have any spotlights available for May through June. So if you want to be spotlighted this year, please submit the spotlight form. I really appreciate it. And it also serves as a networking tool. You may be looking for new employment. You may be wanting to network. So this is a nationwide network. So it's not just us that are going to view your spotlight. If it's shared, if it's liked, it's endless to how many people can view that. So if you want to put yourself out there and meet new people and possibly get a job opportunity, please just share with us your accomplishments and fill out that spotlight form. And also for community events, as Alfonso mentioned, we were out there supporting IRSC at the Black History Month event, but I also like to be out in the community as well. So if you are doing something in the community, whether it's on a weekend or an evening, like I would like to go out there and be the paparazzi and take pictures and videos and, showcase, what you're doing and what your organization is doing as well. Not just you, but your organization. If they're doing something, hosting an activity, share it with us so that we can post a flyer on our YouTube, but on our social media outlets and our email distribution list. And also Twitter, we have 17 followers, and we would like to get more followers on Twitter. If you are on, follow us. We do get a lot of retweets from the city of Port St. Lucie, the county, Indian River State College. So there's other organizations that actually see what we post and they're retweeting it. So the opportunities are endless. Please just reach out to us and communicate with us because we want to showcase what you bring to the table. And if you are creative, if you love to, if you're great at written communication, join our team. We need help. We love to, collaborate with our members. So it's not just about us putting stuff out there. If you have ideas, please let us know. We want to collaborate with you. And that's all. Thank you.
Sarah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sarah Smith, your parliamentarian. I have lots of information to give you today. As you know, you just heard a mention, and hopefully you've heard mention of it even prior to being on here, I would hope, because I've been doing a lot of outreach and ask you all to help with the outreach efforts because first I'll go into upward mobility. This is a very, very important effort that we're doing here in St. Lucie County to boost upward mobility for all residents in St. Lucie County. And what that looks like is we are diving into data. Everything we're doing is data driven. We're talking about education. We are talking about health. We are talking about literacy. We are talking about neonatal health. You name it, family stability, poverty, racial diversity, and how it affects families in St. Lucie County, all families in St. Lucie County. So one of the things that I had the opportunity to do was get on the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce monthly production to talk about upward mobility. I did send that over, and that should be shared with you all soon to give you more background on it. We just had our first community engagement event just this past Friday on February 18th, where we asked members of the community to come out to look at the data, comment on the data, and do preferences on what they felt was some of the most important priorities in our community to tackle, resulting in a mobility action plan for upward mobility out of poverty and economic success, feeling powered having power and autonomy, and also being valued in your community. And so we are really after accelerating the success, the economic success within our community with this mobility action plan. The mobility action plan is being designed to be sustainable, to be resilient, to grow with our community and the needs of our community. I have also on February 26th, this Friday, you've heard about it here again, which is the Community Cultural Arts and Health Awareness Day. That is being held at the Lincoln Park Community Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I will be out there with data boards as well, asking people to identify priorities and give information, comments about what this mobility action plan is going to look like. I am going to be at the Black Health Panel on March 5th with Incubate Neighborhood, with the Incubate, it's going to be at the Incubate Neighborhood Center. I believe it's being hosted by our health department and other partners. I will be out there with the data. That's going to be March 5th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's another the Saturday after this Saturday coming up. Come out, give information, give feedback. Is so important. And it's important because for one reason why it's important is because I don't want people to say, I didn't know, and who put this in this action plan together. Well, it's community informed, it's data driven, and we all need to be a part of putting it together. So that's a lot about the upward mobility cohort and the mobility action plan. And the last thing I want to mention again was a women's first event I am doing in collaboration with Mosaic Inc. In celebration of Women's History Month. That will air on St. Lucie County TV and the St. Lucie County Facebook page on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. And that is it for the community engagement report. Again, thank you to our community engagement committee for coming out and supporting on February 18th. I saw a lot of you out there and I'm so appreciative. And so if you can't come, send people that you know, let them know that we are building this mobility action plan for the upward mobility of all St. Lucie County residents. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sarah. We're at the member discussion component of it. Just very quickly, we are a chapter that's about getting involved in the community. We realize that there are many issues that are happening in our community that we feel that we can have a meaningful say and come up with some meaningful resolutions. If you have any of those particular items, and I know that Crystal does, so Crystal has been sending me some text messages, some emails. But we want NFBPA to be a part of the community and coming up with some solutions to help our particular community. So if you have any items where we can bring people together, do something where we can supposing something where we can be involved and come up with some real solutions to address things in our community, please shoot us an email. We want to be a part of those. We want to coordinate those things. We want to lead those particular things. So there will be some things that are coming up. I'm having some conversations, and we'd love for NFBPA to be a leader in those areas, and just to show the community that we are involved and we want to see our community grow in a positive way.
Alfonso,
yes.
I'm sorry I'm for interrupting, but I can't remember from one meeting to the next whether we mentioned the fitness gym out that Willie help me, Alfonso. The ribbon
fitness
cutting for the fitness court. I had the opportunity to go out and jump around and play on it because it's too advanced for me right now. But I did go out, Willie, and it's so nice. So I hope Did we mention that?
No,
Willie,
Yes,
you wanna?
we posted it on social media and I believe it went throughout email, correct, Carlene?
It was. And I know that George is coming up, but I wanted to also share that Nadej mentioned about the monthly information that she's requesting from our members. The questionnaire is in all of our emails. So every email that is sent out, the questionnaire link is there. So if you don't know where to get that information, look at a past email, and the questionnaire link is in that email. And we're asking for everyone on this call today to go ahead and fill out that questionnaire so we can celebrate you and we can share the information. And lastly, I invited a lot of people to this meeting, and I wanted to just make note of Helen Laurie. She is actually running for Commissioner District 4, I think, Helen. So I just wanted to recognize you and thank you for coming to our meeting.
Thank you for the invite, Colleen.
I just like to jump in real quick. I just want to thank Sarah for highlighting the fitness court. Yeah, we're very excited about that, bringing that new element to the community, and more specifically to Lawnwood. It's been a great addition to the park. We're actually looking to build 4 more in the next 4 years. I think the next site is going to be the Lincoln Park area. We haven't decided on the specific location yet, but it will be somewhere in that park. So we're very excited about the fitness courts and going forward, and can't wait to build a second one.
Do we have any other discussion from membership? Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, I have the honor, I have the pleasure of introducing George Byfield. Just a little bit. I actually met George back in 2020 when we started this pandemic. We're still in it, but George, well, we're talking about crisis communication. We're still in this crisis. So George was so helpful and professional on how he got us to develop our communication plan from the county to deal with the pandemic. I know George has had his hand in St. Lucie County for many, many years now. But I can tell you, just working with George and how he helped guide us and help get us on track on how we wanted to communicate different aspects of the county went a long way in getting information out into our community. Just the way that we designed certain things, just how we did certain spots out there in the community, was all led by George. And so we're so appreciative of George and so grateful that he decided to come on and talk about crisis communication. As public administrators, you never know when a crisis is going to strike. You know, we always think about hurricanes. Hurricanes is some of the biggest issues that we face in Florida. But there's crises that occur throughout. You know, you talk about Stoneman Douglas. You talk about the pandemic. All those crises. And as leaders in public administration, you have to understand, you have to know how to handle those particular crises and how key communication is as far as that. You do not want to keep the public guessing. So you need to be on the forefront on when we talk about a crisis communication. So that's why we invited George on to come and do this presentation and to educate us. And I hope that you get a lot out of this, because it doesn't matter what role you play in government or in our community. We are all a part of that communication. So if our communication is bad at the beginning, it's just going to trickle throughout our entire community bad. So we want to make sure that you get educated on this. So George, thank you again, and I turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Alfonso, and thank you, NFBPA, for having me on your virtual meeting today. I must say I am honored to know that an organization has been formed, not just in a city, but for the entire Treasure Coast region, and to see Black professionals coming. This is something I've been dreaming about years ago when I was the agency of record for St. Lucie County. And just to see you guys on this platform, I'm honored and I'm thrilled. So I don't want you to stop. Alfonso, you're doing a great job, and I know that you are spilling over, you're casting that vision net to the entire team, and I hope that you will also catch the vision and expand on it. Crisis, we all face it, don't we? We all do. And I'm sure some of us have been facing crisis from when we were small. My first crisis when I was 9, my father decided he no longer wanted to be with our family. And that's a crisis I had to face. And so my grade left from A all the way down to an F. You know, we all deal with crisis. And it took me 2 years to bounce back. Bouncing back from a crisis is very important. And how we perceive a crisis is also very important in how we respond to it. You can only go as far as you can see, right? And how you perceive something is definitely going to dictate your response to it. One of the things we don't want to do ever with a crisis is to react. And so today, I hope I can share some of the insight that I have learned over the years and some of the things that I've applied in our agency, especially in handling our recent COVID-19 communication for St. Lucie County. But before we're doing that, you know, this time is just going to be a time for us to have a powwow, just to chat, just to get to know each other and get to really dive in there. So you're not going to just sit down and listen to me. We are going to interact. So be prepared if I should call you. I can see your name. It's listed all the way down here. So if I say, hey, Crystal or Claudia or Carlene or Edward or Helen, you know, I'll call in here because I want to hear from you. How you view crisis is going to be very important for this presentation. So before we jump into it, Carlene, if you mind just sharing those 2 questions for our panel or for our group team of people that are here, and so we can kind of get a feel of where they are.
Awesome. Did you want me to go ahead and talk about how to do this?
Yes, please.
All right. So if everyone can see my screen, you are seeing the title, Crisis in the Treasure Coast. What I'm asking you to do is on your cell phone, I want you to be a part of this word cloud. I want you to text the word G Byfield. It's on the screen. G Byfield 372. Text that to 22333. So the recipient is 22333. And I want you to text the word G Byfield 372. Once you do that, you will get a response that says that you are joining the poll for G Byfield. Do not click on the link, but go ahead in the same message area and respond to the question, crisis in the Treasure Coast, the type of crisis that you're experiencing here in the Treasure Coast. So if you have questions, please let me know, but we are ready for your response.
Oh.
If it's 2 words, go ahead and put a hyphen between the word because it will separate the word. So if it's work life, you type work dash life. So 2 words, you put a dash in between. Awesome. Very good.
That's great. And as you can see, you're looking at the screen, those that are as the housing and you see the words are getting much bigger in the cloud, it means that those are the ones that are people are basically saying on this panel right now, that's the most critical crisis that's being faced. Family inclusion, discrimination, housing. So more than one of you are typing in the same thing. Great.
Awesome.
let's take like 2 or 3 more and then go to the next question, Carly.
Okay. Did we want to say anything about this one, or are we going to just move on to the next?
Now with this one, I'm basically seeing some of the things that we're all facing, and what this does is that it allows us now to be even more inclusive on this platform, that you're not facing your crisis alone. And that's one of the things we're also going to bring out in our presentation, that your crisis is not so uniquely yours. It is shared. And because it is shared, we need to have a shared solution for crisis that we're facing. All right.
Move to the next.
Yes.
Okay. All right, for this one, you don't have to text again. Go ahead and continue on in that same thread and just respond to the question, how do you perceive crisis? Thank you.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. It's great. I would love to know who put in exciting or exciting. All right, let's take 2 more. Hmm. All right, this is great. This is good. This is literally showing us how everyone perceive crisis. And this is, of course, individual and as a collective group. How do we perceive crisis is very, very important. Again, it's going to dictate how we respond to it. So if we see crisis as being threatening, we don't want to come close to it. We want to get rid of it. If we see it as positive, we want to definitely draw closer to it and see what we can learn from it. Growth, opportunity, challenging. It's good that someone have the word challenging and not the word problem, and we can see the difference between a problem and a challenge. A challenge, you want to get better at it. A problem, you want to avoid it. So this is good. So we can all agree that everyone has faced challenges, or crisis, and we have somehow perceive it in the way best we know how, based on our culture, based on how we're raised, just based on what's influencing us, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen with you. Also, there we go. The future of crisis communication management. And I'm using the future here because I want to move away from, I want us to have a new mindset of crisis. We've been handling crisis like how we've been handling it in the past. And so crisis, I want us to leave this session with a futuristic forward thinking and a mindset of the opportunities that crisis can afford us. So let me just jump right in. Right here. What is crisis communication management? And of course, we've kind of dealt a little bit on that in how we're able to work together. But in essence, it's a strategic approach to corresponding with people and organization during a disruptive event. Crisis, bottom line, it's about people. It's not about things, although there may be things that are included, but the ultimate core of a crisis management are people. That's what it is about. And because we're so diverse, it's very important that we have a very diverse outlook and a very open outlook towards crisis management. People are waiting in the lobby. Okay, Colleen, I think that's for you. Okay, so when crises occur, proactive, quick, fast-paced communication is critical to help prevent further escalation. And again, as Alfonso raised, we had to deal with that with COVID when we first started it. It was a moving target, but however, we still had to find a way and how we can center in, bring some kind of playbook to this crisis that we're facing, and how can we communicate it out to the general public. Type of crisis. Only two types, the expected and unexpected. Now, they're going to run across all different walks of life, but there's always going to be an expected crisis, hurricane. We're expecting that. When I was in New York, I can expect snowstorm sometime. We're going to get a snow. So I know that we have to make sure that we have enough salt. For a hurricane, we are prepared. I used to live in Jamaica. We will have floods a lot of times. So whenever it comes, we're not shocked because we have our building blocks to put our furniture up so it doesn't get flooded out. We put our clothes away. We have important documents in a plastic bag that is ready to go if we need to hit and run. So there are expected crises. It's the unexpected crisis that we want to really deal with today. So they're in our financial sector, technology, natural crisis, confrontational crisis in the workplace, violence, and social media propaganda crisis is one that we haven't gotten our hand on. But today I want us to definitely see again that crises are all opportunities and how can we mitigate it. Perception is everything, isn't it? How we see it is very important. And so leadership during a crisis is very critical. How our leaders are able to communicate to us during a crisis will help us as a community to see it differently. If there's no leadership during a crisis, everyone is going to draw their own opinion, and there goes social media. Now we have to put out not just one fire now, we have to put out many fires, and we don't want to do that. So when a crisis is perceived as a problem, organizations avoid a timely response as well as ownership, causing further escalation of the crisis, devaluing the reputation and trust of the organization. If it's a city, a county, a state, same thing apply. An individual, it devalues because we're not handling the crisis the way we should. Now people are drawing their own opinion about us. However, if we're able to perceive a crisis as an opportunity, it encourages reflection, learning through the evaluation process, learning the process, and even pulling out a new playbook on how can we mitigate this in the future, what can we learn. It will definitely increase our reputation and trust. Why? Because we're able to, may not have all the answers, but we're able to answer and respond to our stakeholders about the facts about the crisis and how we plan to handle it, that it may not happen again. I'm not sure if most of you know about Judith Smith. She was a former crisis management advisor for the Office of the President. And there was a show that was based on her called The Scandal on CBS. And her thing is, her quote is, there's always an opportunity with crisis, always an opportunity. Just as it forces an individual to look inside him or herself, it forces a company or organization, a city, a state, to re-examine its policies and practices. This is clearly, again, something that we need to take advantage of. Crisis is an opportunity. Now, poor crisis management can affect us. And where it affects us most of all is the bottom line. According to NPR, right? BP, you remember the BP oil spill? That wasn't handled properly. But look how much money it cost them. $70 billion. Wells Fargo, $7 billion. JP Morgan, 6.2 billion. Facebook, 5 billion. All because they're not taking responsibility and responded to the crisis in a timely manner. You begin to lose value of the organization. You begin to lose trust. And trust is a commodity, and it's a commodity that need to be valued and protected, not something we need to just throw at the wind. Crisis communication management objective. 4, to provide an accurate and timely information to all targeted internal and external audience. And this could be, again, our staff or people we're working with, residents, members. We are definitely communicating with them. We want to demonstrate concern for safety of lives. Again, the ultimate core of a crisis are people. That's the bottom line. We want to safeguard the organization to facilitate facilities and assets. We want to maintain a positive image of the organization. We call it in marketing branding. We want to maintain a brand image, right? A brand loyalty, a good corporation and community citizen. This is so important for us. But again, none of this can be possible if we have a negative outlook to a crisis. It will cost us. What it's going to cost us in the red or in the black, how we respond to it is going to affect us. So the best practices for communicating effectively in a crisis. We want to create a crisis response team. I wanted to stand that a little bit for you. We have economic development team, we have educational development team, we have health development team, but we really don't have a crisis development team. And it's not just a crisis team that is there to put out a fire, but they're there to look for opportunities. Again, because it's going to hit the bottom line, there's some key people who want to be on that crisis response team. We want to have a crisis response plan. So the team is going to put out a playbook that will look at potential crises, existing crises, and they will also create crisis. The team is literally like a think tank for crisis, if you may. And again, I want us to change our mindset of how we see a crisis, that most of the time we're putting out fire. We're reacting to a crisis and not responding to it because we're just not seeing it as an opportunity. We want to communicate proactively with internal and external stakeholders. We want to maintain consistent communication. It's very important that we're not vacillating between a statement we made 2 minutes ago versus when we make an hour later. And when we respond to a crisis, we don't want to respond a day after. It needs to be within that 30 to 45 minutes window. And if we can do it within the 30, it's even better. You may not have all the answers, but guess what? You are responding. Because again, if we don't respond, someone in the community is going to respond worse if they respond to the crisis with their phone, posting it on social media. So now we're behind the 8 ball because we never took the time to create a crisis response development team. We want to move quickly. We want to evaluate the crisis response, and we want to see how can we repeat or can we improve or evolve from what we have learned from the crisis. So, who should be on that team? Who should be on that crisis team? Well, besides the mayor or the county administrator or the chairman of BOCC, we need to have some critical people on that team. And let me just ask some of you on it, right? If you can just open your mic, who are some of the people you think should be on a crisis development team? Just open your mic, jump right in.
Emergency managers.
Safety or fire emergency.
Very good.
Educators.
Nice. Anyone else?
Community leaders.
Okay.
Mental health professionals.
Ooh, let's stop right there. That's very good. Why mental health professionals?
During crisis, that's when we experience a lot of emotions, a lot of mental health. Even since the pandemic, I have a friend who's a therapist. Therapists are overwhelmed, overworked. There's an influx of people needing that extra emotional support. And, yeah,
Very good.
that's my
Anyone
basic
else?
answer.
Excellent, excellent answer. I love it. Anyone else?
They can guide people in the community where to go to obtain services.
Okay.
The faith community.
Repeat that.
The faith community, particularly
Faith
those who,
community. Very good.
particularly those who serve the community at large.
Very good. Come on, add some more people to this committee. Who should be on the team? Who else? How about the school board? Should they be on the team?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, someone in education, right?
The Department of Health.
Ha. All right, come on. This is beautiful. Don't stop.
The Chamber of Commerce.
Why?
All three, the Haitian Chamber of Commerce, Black Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce.
Now that has to do with business. So why did you select the Chamber of Commerce? Why should they be on this team?
Because when we have adverse effects, it will have a ripple effect on your businesses, and the people and the residents in the community work at these businesses. And so they need to be aware of and how to buffer some of the adverse effects, such as COVID, for example.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. And I also want to commend you on including the different segment within the cultural segment within the community. Sometimes we tend to have one group of people that are making the decision for everyone. And so I really appreciate that. I wanted us to add to that the LBGQ should also be in it. The veteran should be on there as well. All the different segments within the community, they need to be represented. And why should they be represented? Because once someone from that community is on the team, whenever a communication is sent out by them, it's more trusted. And now, again, remember, trust is a commodity we can't afford to lose. We always have to invest in that and protect it. So to have someone from these community, when they speak to their community, it is trusted. It's more trusted, and it's more receive and want to have more cooperation with the organization or whoever is facing that crisis. And now it becomes a shared crisis and a shared solution to the crisis. Anyone else you think should be on this?
Yes, this is Willie. As an ex-athlete, who's played basketball on pretty much every level.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at everything from the aspect of a team. And I say that what I mean by that is it kind of goes along with the message that we put on our board there at the fitness court. And it says, we are stronger together. And I think that's important, even in this subject that we're talking about today. And what I mean by that is, when there is a crisis, I think everyone across the board can play an important role when it comes to a crisis. That's everybody.
Very good.
And like I said, we are stronger together. So I don't think it's one organization or one element. I think we all can and should play a part.
Very good. Now there may be some subcommittee within the team that are dealing with different type of crisis. There may be those who are stronger in existing crisis, and there may be some that are more innovative and creative to be on the unexpected crisis. They can come up with different scenarios and create a playbook for that crisis. So when the crisis comes, you're not running to find what should we say, how should we respond to it. It's already there. I think, Alfonso, you were alluding to that when we were handling the COVID, that you wanted to make sure that we do have a playbook ready so that it doesn't matter what comes, we're not operating in the old way of putting out fire. Instead, we already have the things prepared to put the fire out. So we want to also add the legal team to this. And they will help us to say the right words that won't get us in trouble, right? And of course, you mentioned the Chamber of Commerce. I want to add economic development, someone from the economic development team, the police, the fire department. These are very important people to be on there. Someone that is in food and nutrition, as well as the supermarket. We want to know what commodities are coming into the supermarket during a crisis, or what will be used most during a crisis. It doesn't make sense, right? Does this make sense to everyone? That why would you want to have someone from a supermarket to be on your team? Because during the COVID, you remember which commodity was short?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
And there's a reason why. And you may be smiling, but COVID, one of the things that will happen to us in COVID, one of the indicators to let you know the first sign is going to be diarrhea. So that's may sound gross, but that's the first thing you can definitely identify with and say, wait a minute, COVID is coming. It is knocking on my door. I need to boost my immune system up ASAP. And so toilet paper was one of those commodities that went. So it's important to have a supermarket or someone from the grocery to be there. The head of the department, of any department that is on your city or your town, your county, needs to be on this team. A crisis team is very important, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very important. And they need to be active every day, not when the crisis is coming up or when the crisis is here. That's too late. We're behind the 8 ball, right? So a crisis can offer opportunities to turn a disruptive event, because that's basically what it is, right? It's changing our course of life, right? Into a learning experience, growth, and trusted relationship with our stakeholders. This is very important. And I really want to thank you for participating and listening. I hope you have some of you may have been practicing just this new way of dealing with or viewing and perceiving and responding to a crisis. And I just hope that those that may see crisis as something negative will somehow now see it as something that is positive. I want to share one thing with you, and it wasn't something I was planning to do, but it came up. My aunt is very ill, and she's in Kingston, Jamaica, and I have to go every now and again and check in and be there with her. So that for me was disruptive. It's not part of my plan, but I had to make adjustment. And that adjustment, I'm learning now a lot of things about my aunt that I didn't know before, a lot of things about myself that I didn't know. The tenacity that is there that I didn't know I had that I could be more patient in being a caregiver. All of these are opportunities that I'm seeing as an individual. So a crisis is not just going to affect a group. It's first going to affect the individuals. It's going to spill over. The ripple effect is going to go to the group. It's going to go local, regional. And now with even this new crisis that is right at our doorstep, it may not impact us yet with Russia and the Ukraine, but it's going to impact the price of our gasoline. It's going to impact the price. And once it's impact gasoline, it's going to impact food. It's going to impact so many different things. So crisis is something that is shared. Crisis is something that can be seen as an opportunity. And what can we do, learn from it, so we can be better and we can build trust. So if it's nothing else you learn from this presentation, I hope you'll take away that crisis can be seen as an opportunity, and it is an opportunity to share amongst our community. And so we can all benefit from the success of that crisis. Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
there's any questions? I want to stop sharing.
Well, George,
I
that
just
was
have a
fantastic.
comment.
Thank you. George, we're so appreciative of you coming on and speaking to our chapter. It was wonderful. Just to remind all the members here, the presentation will be available. We'll be getting that out to you as well, so you can use as your reference as well. George, we would like to present you with a certificate of appreciation.
Thank you.
We'll make sure we get it mailed out to you. Carlin, can you show the certificate of appreciation?
Wow.
So we really appreciate
Appreciate this. Thank you.
you coming on and talking to them. And we're going to be in constant communication because, as we try to grow as a chapter, getting this valuable insight on things really help us grow. So, well, thank you, and thank you again for all that you've been doing and all that you've done for St. Lucie County as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
So, members, just to close out today, our next chapter meeting is March 24th. Our guest presenter, that will be virtually as well. Our guest presenter will be Dr. Keith Klintscale on strategic leadership. I'm looking forward to that particular presentation as well. Been having many conversations with him. So he's looking forward to coming and meeting with this chapter as well. He works in Palm Beach County and he's a member of the South Florida chapter, but he wanted to come to the Treasure Coast chapter and share his knowledge on strategic leadership. Do we have any questions before we adjourn our chapter meeting?
I wanted to just add that Crystal shared in the comment section, and I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it. She wanted to thank us for sharing this information. She said it's not a question. Crystal, did you want to speak? Because I don't want to speak on your behalf.
I typed it. No, I was just saying I value the fact that it was mentioned, the need for representation at the table from every sector of community, but not just having people in the room, but ensuring that their voices are truly heard and it's factored into all of the resolution plans that are made. Diversity is cool, but we need to ensure that inclusion happens so that justice comes.
Thank you, Crystal.
Since there's nothing else at this particular point, I want to say y'all have a wonderful remainder of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Oh, we got to take our picture. Carlene needs to take a picture.
I cannot. You can't leave without. Okay, so please, if you can turn on your cameras, everyone, if you are able to, and just smile for us. I love that. Hey, Kalitha. All right, so please do your best smile. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture now. All right, I think I got it. Thank you, everyone. Alfonso, you can close us out now.
Well, thank you, everyone. You have a wonderful day and a remaining part of your week, and look forward to connecting with you. And just look out for the information from NFBPA Treasure Coast. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.